over the moon.
Coming to you live from the Phoenix Holding Studio, it's Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump. Tonight, we welcome the team from Goons of Balatroon, plus some degenerate gamblers, and a whole bunch of crazy apes. Featuring John Batiste and Stay Human. Please allow me to introduce myself. Donnie. Thank you. Beautiful audience. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Okay, stop clapping. Good evening, ladies and DJs, and welcome to another very special episode of Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump, where I have the honor and privilege of hosting tonight's show from the lavishly luxurious Phoenix Holding Studio. I'm, of course, your host, Not Donald Trump, as well as just a regular businessman and degenerate investor. Our guests tonight are the team from Goons of Balatroon. Thank you both for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holding Studio. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you on this lovely evening?
Yeah, doing great, and it's a pleasure for us to be here, too. We're really excited to be here with you guys.
Excellent. We're so happy to have you with us. Now, before we start, I'm just going to have a quick briefing how it's going to work. We'll have an open floor after my questions are done, at which point we'll be allowing the rest of the participants to raise their hands. Until the time, the rest of these filthy degenerates will remain muted. To keep things organized and to ensure that questions don't get lost in general conversation, please wait until after I have announced that the floor is open before posting your questions or raising your hands. If you have a question you'd like to ask via text, please post it in the text chat and tag me at JonaldTronDump once we've opened the floor for questions. In the interest of time, please ensure that you limit questions to one question per post or hand raise. And just a reminder to those of you listening, absolutely none of us here are financial advisors, and you should always do your own research. Tonight, you lucky listeners have the chance to win a portion of BUSD for the best question asked either by voice or by text during the open floor segment of tonight's show. So now we got all that out of the way, Goons of Balatroon team, are you ready to begin?
Yeah, man, let's do it. Although I think Beagle might have just gotten knocked off. I don't see him in the list.
Let's see.
I guess he didn't fix his audio bug well enough.
Oh, right, yeah. He fixed it the hard way, having to do probably a hard reboot there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can give him a minute, or I can kind of get started with a bit of an intro. Either way.
No, whichever you prefer. I mean, if you'd like to take the reins yourself for the until we wait for him to get back, and please feel free to tell us a bit more about before we talk about the project itself, then let's get to know a bit more about you. Who the hell are you, and why should these degenerates trust you and your team with their hard-earned polys? All
right, man. So my name is Luke Angel. I'm the CMO for the Goons of Balatroon project. And you should trust me because I'm a degen just like you guys, and I'm a degen from way back before there was even such a term. I've kind of realized that I've been a degen my whole professional career. Basically, I started doing direct marketing, back in the days, actually, as the internet was just getting started. And when I got started, actually was first working on promoting premium rate telephony services. So we were doing actually off-the-page advertising in newspapers, and magazines, if you guys know what those things were. And kind of ever since I've been, involved in direct marketing and promoting various kinds of, mainly digital content once the internet started to, get its legs and grow and grow and grow. So done a mix of mobile, internet, interactive TV content. Had my own interactive TV studio. We did interactive TV, teleshopping. So kind of taking, technology to where it can interact with people and create new opportunities. So that's something I've been doing really well since the late 90s. So for about the last 25 years.
Is that kind of like the shopping channel and the Sharper Image kind of thing? The as seen on TV craze?
Well, it wasn't as seen on TV. It was more like QVC live teleshopping. So I was born and grew up in the U.S., but I moved away about 30 years ago and been spending my time in Europe mostly. Well, split between kind of Eastern, Western, spent a lot of time in Russia, Ukraine, launched a few businesses there. Actually, that's where we launched our first live teleshopping was in Ukraine. Took it to Russia, Kazakhstan. So I had a lot of, exciting, interesting experience, doing some crazy business in some crazy places. So kind of when crypto came along, it seemed like a natural, segue to just get involved in another market where things were, cutting edge, exciting, up and down. You were never quite sure what was going to happen next. It was a natural fit for me, to be honest. So I got back, got into the crypto space. I guess back in 2017. And I'm sure a lot of people did as well. And first it's just as someone interested in technology and trying to figure out what in the world was happening in this space. And then actually I got in contact with a former colleague, an acquaintance of mine who I met when I was living over in Russia, who launched a project called Obyte back in 2016, which was a DAG-based, level 1 protocol. And so started working with him, doing some business development, doing some marketing, helping, to get more attention for the project. And as a DAG project, it was really quite interesting because I got quickly involved in understanding the intricacies of sort of DAG versus blockchain, understanding the technology, the different types of consensus mechanisms, and really what was possible. So after a few years working with them, trying to figure out what are the best use cases, and working with people like Siemens and Bosch, and doing some different proof of concepts.
And before you move on, I'm not too familiar with the concept of a DAG. Would you be willing to break that down a bit for myself and our listeners?
Yeah, sure. So a DAG stands for Directed Acyclic Graph. So it's basically another way. It's another type of distributed ledger technology. So when we talk about like DLT, really that's the whole space. When most people say blockchain, they generally refer to the entire distributed ledger technology space. So, at the time in 2016, it was one of the first projects that launched, I guess, a little bit before or after IOTA. I don't remember, which is probably one of the top, top DAGs out there, or most well known, I should say. And so it's basically a different way to build the ledger that doesn't involve any kind of mining. So there's no proof of work. You have to come up. Each DAG has kind of its own unique consensus mechanism. And it's, the idea behind it, then there's no proof of work. There's no mining. So the transactions are very fast. They're posted with, finality. And you're able to also have a huge amount of transactional throughput. So if and when blockchain goes mainstream, and we're looking, to create, projects with microtransactions or something on the scale, financially a Visa or MasterCard, DAGs are built exactly for that, to put a huge amount of transactions through the network. I just got by the way, on the side, a telegram from Beagle. He's saying that he got booted. And now it says it's private. I don't know if there's anything.
Oh, he must not have completed the rose captcha. Let me see if we can get that. If we can get that fixed here, he might just need to be unbanned, and then he needs to rejoin, and then make sure to complete the captcha upon joining. Let me just hit up the mod team, see if they can jump on that. Okay. What was his ad again?
1 second. It is at @the_Beagle.
_Beagle. Okay. Toss it on the mods. We'll see if we can get him unbanned and get him back in here. Oh, it looks like it's already done. If he can give it another try, and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, I just got to make sure that to complete the captcha, so I don't get flagged accidentally as Jeetbots.
Yep. Anyway, so that's kind of the deal with DAGs. Obviously with now other solutions have, come along that are basically, looking to solve the scaling problems of blockchain. There's level 2 solutions and Lightning Network and, servers solutions like Polygon, that also have like very minimal gas fees. But that was kind of the idea behind launching on a DAG. So yeah, it's a way to scale and have lots of transactions at a very low cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. Let's see here. It hasn't gone yet. I guess before we get too much into the project itself, do you, since we're just waiting for Beagle to come back, do you want to give a breakdown of who is on the team with you for the Goons of Balloon project? Sorry, Goons of Balatroon, not Goons of Balloon. And then how you all came together and came up with the idea for this project?
Yeah, sure. Well, I won't give you a breakdown of everybody because the team is quite large. We're about,
Yeah.
I think, a little bit over 30 people now.
Oh, wow.
So we're like, a full-fledged team. We have, marketing team, multiple dev teams working on different aspects of the project. So it's a pretty full-service team. It's not a couple of guys and a few laptops sitting around. The project really got off the ground in early 2021. The three co-founders got together with an NFT artist who they knew, and we're kicking around ideas for how what kind of project to launch. At the time, the NFT space was booming, so they were very interested in doing something, and they were looking around, and it was kind of at the beginning of the blockchain gaming, GameFi, play to earn kind of wave that started to take off. And they were looking around at the projects, and they're all like pretty hardcore gamers, so they were very interested in doing something in the space. Looking around, seeing, okay, some of these projects, are launching with some, serious potential. Others are clearly just kind of launching on the promise of a roadmap, and they were, very keen to launch, but to build something long term. So, that was the original idea. So they looked around. They looked at, what kind of games were being launched. They basically, looked at the gaming genres that were out there and said, okay, well, we think, a Web3 trading card game is something that, can definitely gain some traction in the space, both from, Web3, proponents, crypto degens, NFT collectors, as well as, attract a decent amount of players from kind of Web2 traditional gaming background. So one of the first things they did was, they found a great game designer who is a guy that has over 15 years experience as a professional TCG player, playing Magic the Gathering, playing Hearthstone.
Nice.
So it was like, hey, let's create a game, and a bunch of guys that don't know anything about gaming sitting around trying to figure out how to create a game. They brought in someone who had tons of experience, who really was able to kind of cherry pick the best things from the best games that were already out there, and then put a few new twists on it so that TCG players who have experience with those games would play this, and it would feel new, it would feel fun, and it would feel exciting. And they kind of started with the game first because they wanted to make a game that's a real game, that's fun. So it's a free to play to earn game, but it's really a fun free to play to earn game, and the fun comes first because that's what we want to build. Is our long term plan is to build a AAA game that people want to play, because without that, the rest is kind of pounding a lot of square pegs into round holes. So that was the original idea behind it. So they started working on the game. The game has a lot of complex elements. It's a very deep project, but really the first step was kind of to launch the avatars that people can use to play the game. So our first NFT collection was we're 1 day short of our 1 year anniversary. So it was launched on the 18th of August last year, 2021. So there were 9,696 Goon avatars that were launched. So the number was sort of split down the middle. Half are bulls, half are bears. obviously,
Ah, yes.
giving homage to the culture in which we live and work. And so, with the idea that, okay, these are the two main factions. And in the game, as it's kind of a 1v1 game, the bulls battle the bears, etc. But obviously, of course, any player can battle any other player. But that was kind of the idea. So the battle of the bulls and the bears. Um,
Hmm.
and so that was the first collection that dropped last year. It sold out, pretty much straight away. Um, and then since then, we've been kind of building the game, adding more utility to the project, and now we're at a point where a year later, we're about we've actually launched the beta of the game. We're right now in a closed beta, so that all of the Goon holders, who have our kind of flagship NFT, are now able to play the game. They're giving us tons of great feedback about the game, how, things to improve. We have a nice 2-week kind of iteration cycle on taking that feedback, feeding it back to the dev team, and trying to improve the game. And now we have like 2 other major events happening this month. Next week we have our land sale. So we're adding a metaverse element to our ecosystem, and that's being based on selling land parcels. So that's going live next week. And then on the 31st of this month is our TGE. So we'll be launching our token, which is a combination utility and governance token, and reward token, that
Hmm.
will really be the kind of the powerhouse of the entire ecosystem.
Interesting. So, back on the topic of the game itself, at its core, then, what is the Goons of Balatroon, and what makes it worth investing in?
Okay, well, what? Yeah, okay, Matt, you're back. Great.
Yeah,
Come
well,
on.
first of all, I just want to apologize for vanishing there. I think
No
we had
worries.
a Captcha issue, and it booted me out of the server, so I think we got it squared away now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Rose
we're
now
back.
knows that you're human.
Yes, yes, yes. So I hope I got that taken care of again. Telegram is a little bit arcane for me sometimes. I'm much more familiar at my home in Discord. But
Right.
it is, like I said, great to be here with you today. I caught what you were talking about with Luke. So
Awesome.
so let's see here. You were asking at its core, what is the Goons of Balatroon game? Now, are you asking that in regards to the game or kind of the ecosystem as a whole? What are we looking for here?
The game to start, and they can expand on it after. Because I know that Luke had already mentioned the Bulls and the Bears aspect of it, the original NFTs, and then how you're looking to expand upon that. But just to dive in a bit more to the game itself, what is I guess if you were to present this project to somebody who knows nothing about it, what is Goons of Balatroon? Why does it appeal to people? And then what makes it worth throwing their money at?
Well, absolutely. So, very simply put, it is a play-to-earn game that is taking a good, hard look at the current ecosystem, both in the crypto NFT space, but also play-to-earn gaming as a whole. We've seen a lot of projects in the crypto bull run went down the play-to-earn route, and they did it in a very simplistic, rudimentary way. Clearly, the token rewards were prioritized over playability, sustainability, and everything else along those lines for the most part. And what we saw ended up happening, especially as we transitioned into the bear market, these tokens, they, of course, receded in value a great deal, and they pulled back, and people started to look at the underlying foundations of the games. And they said, they looked at it and they said to themselves, well, now that the token value is down, I don't really enjoy playing this game. It's not fun. It's not complex. It isn't strategically challenging. It's just, in many cases, it's hitting the same button and watching an automated action play out again and again. And, when tokens were up, up only, this was something that people were willing to put up with. But now that the markets are down, now that the markets pulled back, people aren't even, enjoying themselves enough to jump into these games to continue grinding with the hope that the token will someday go up again, as we get into more permissive market conditions. And so what we're looking to do is, kind of get into there and provide a fun game. And the goal is to onboard Web2 users, to onboard, crypto natives, and to onboard, just gamers as a whole. And we're going to do this with a very simple equation. The trading card game, the TCG genre, it's tried and true. It's got,
Mhm.
classics such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone. These are games that, everybody, for the most part, who's currently the proper age to be dabbling around in crypto and NFTs, these are games and concepts that, we grew up with,
Mm-hmm. Oh, most of
18.
us, at least in my generation, grew up in the '90s, and that was when '96 Pokemon first came out, and well, MTG's been around for decades before that, and then yeah, like you said, Yu-Gi-Oh, and everything else. So we were kind of in the big like pre-internet but well-established card gaming era of our time.
Yeah, exactly. And so, the goal right there is to not to reinvent the wheel. We're not looking to just copy and paste one of these classic games over into Web3. We've seen that happen. Some projects will
Mm-hmm.
just basically port over a successful concept from web just from the traditional markets and just rip it into Web3, and it does well. I mean, there's a couple projects that I could mention, but you don't want to throw stones. And they just kind of drag them over into this, and they do well because people are like, oh well, now it's in crypto. But the IP is a little questionable at that point. So what we're looking to do is provide our own, separate IP. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel on the concept of trading card games. I know the equation works. People enjoy these trading card games. They're a ton of fun. We're looking to add our own twist to it, and that's where the Goons of Balatroon comes in. We're looking to shift up the way that the games are played to an extent. So even if you're a Magic the Gathering player, a passionate Hearthstone player, you're going to see some commonalities, but there's going to be enough differences in there to set the game apart and to change things up. So at its core, that is what we're looking to do. Is not only provide a play to earn game, we're also looking to make a fun to play game. That's
Mm-hmm.
what everybody
A fun to earn game.
Yeah, fun to earn. We're prioritizing, play to enjoy. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the P2E that gets ignored a lot is the enjoyment factor.
No, exactly.
And,
And then you just have people grinding, try to earn money. They don't actually engage with the game itself. They don't find it fun. They just think, "Hey, this is a revenue stream. Let me, push a button or do whatever the game requires." And they don't really play for what it is. They just play it for what it gives them.
yeah, and you know what? In some ways, that's not the worst thing, right? Because we've seen play to earn gaming kind of revolutionize the way people live their lives. We have people in some countries that have been able to free themselves from jobs that they don't enjoy, backbreaking jobs, extremely difficult jobs, and are able to transition over into being Axie Infinity scholars or players. So just saying that whatever, you should only be playing for the love of the game, it eschews an entire segment of the population that play to earn gaming really brings true benefit to. So we're looking to include that play to earn, but we think very much that there should be a play to enjoy aspect in there as well. So the game has a lot of moving parts. It has a lot of abilities to master, a lot of cards to master, an element system, a tile system where you can change and affect the field. There's a lot going on with it, and we wrap that there, and that is going to make it something that people who come from the traditional markets we're going to advertise to them. We're going to make it easy for them to onboard. Our goal is to have, well, not even our goal. The plan is to have a system where, you can just sign up via an email and an account. So if you come from a Web2 native, if you're just a traditional gamer, you don't have to worry about understanding crypto, NFTs. You don't have to worry about wallets. I mean, all of that's very daunting for your standard gamer. And what we see is, the traditional Web2 gamers, they need NFTs so badly because it provides that value and ownership back to them. They benefit from the games they spend so much money on and spend so much time playing. But they view them as scams, as way too expensive. And so we're looking for a way to onboard these users into a game that provides them real ownership of their in-game assets, but also removes that need for them to have that high barrier of entry. Of course, we have a free-to-play entrance. So with the free-to-play, people aren't having to, stomach the fact that they have to buy a, $1,000, $2,000 NFT to participate in a game they might not even enjoy. So we have that easy onboarding. We have the ability to use, Web2 onboarding and email account to sign in. And then when users are ready, they can step into the crypto side. They can start looking into tokens. They can start looking into wallets. They can look at the NFT asset. The NFT asset side of things. So the reason why you would want to get involved in this is because we're not looking to constrain ourselves into simply crypto and NFTs. We're looking to, burst into the Web 2 scene while still retaining that, play to earn in Web 3 values and ethos where, you benefit from the time you spend in the game. The assets that you have are yours. They can be bought and sold, sold, traded, and exchanged on the open market. It's kind of this fusion of crypto and gaming that I think everybody knew was inevitable and needed to happen, but just because of the up only movement of the bull market, people just let themselves get a little bit redirected into what why stop playing the game that's just printing you tokens when everything's going well. So
And that's a very good point as well, that you're not just looking to strictly have crypto people playing this. You are actively, even from the start, you're already actively reaching out to the people who love gaming but may not have any idea what crypto is, or even may not just have any involvement in crypto at all, even if they do know what it is. And like you said, with that eliminating the barrier to entry that allows for the free to play model, it also removes the kind of the intimidating factor of crypto about, you got to download your MetaMask, you got to set up your wallet, you got to hide your private keys and do all that fun stuff, learn how to connect and learn what to and what to not connect to. And then after that, then you can jump into the game and learn how to play it. But with the fact that you have the ability to just jump in there with just an email and password and just get going without having to even spend any money, and like you said, not having to throw down like a full grand, four figures for a playable character for a game they might not even enjoy, you're already kicking things off on a good start, especially with, like you said, the people that they could jump in through the Web 2 side. Once they get more familiar with the game and they start learning more about, the crypto aspect of the game, it might lead them to learn more about the crypto in general itself, and then that kind of be the gateway into learning more about the DeFi space, and that becomes part of their life. So it's definitely an interesting approach, and I a lot of projects, they don't really give much thought to the non-crypto people. So that's honestly, I got to say that I wish more projects would do that, because that honestly great mindset to kick off your project with.
Yeah, if you look
size of the markets. Yeah, I think you're going to say the same thing, Matt. But yeah, if you look at the size of the gaming market versus the crypto market, I mean, although we're all here super hardcore, kind of degen crypto NFT people, whatever, the gaming world is so much bigger, right? So, we're looking at this and running into, a successful project. We want to have as many people playing the game as possible. The more people playing, it means a better community, a better ecosystem, and a stronger project for, across all of our aspects. So, when we looked at the two, we understood that, okay, yeah, we definitely need the crypto people and the NFT people at the beginning, because they're going to understand kind of some of the key concepts of the project. And, we want their support, but in the long run, it's definitely, going to help us to have as many gamers playing the game and saying, hey, this is an amazing game. Why wouldn't we want that? So, it's really the thin end of the wedge is to get them playing the free-to-play version, liking the game, and then, as they're playing, they're seeing other people who are playing, who are earning, who are, winning tournaments, winning badges, winning, other kinds of in-game NFTs. And then say, well, hang on, I want that too, or I'm kicking everybody's ass. Why don't I have that? Well, because you need to get your wallet, and you need to be able to then, store those NFTs. You need to be able to, store those tokens, et cetera, et cetera. And now they have an incentive to do it. It's like when you play a game on a PlayStation
without a memory card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the TAM, the total addressable market for any game is massive, and really, a lot of these projects do a lot of limiting themselves. And, the traditional gaming space doesn't help a lot either, because anytime NFTs come up, they just start foaming at the mouth. And it's absolutely insane to think about, because, okay, so I'm just going to mention one game which I know is out on, PC, console, and it's a trading card game. It's a TCG, pretty analogous to us. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and you take real life currency, you take fiat, and you buy gems that allow you to, every game that has microtransaction has some sort of gem in it, right? And you buy these gems, and you're able to buy card packs with them. You have those card packs, and I mean, technically they're yours because you bought them. But what Master Duel has really given you is a license to use those cards for as long as they see fit. And of course, if you break their terms of service, they ban you and you lose your permission to look at your cards, or they stop supporting the game sometime in the future. And again, you lose the ability to use those cards that you paid money for. Well, were this to have an NFT model, yeah, you use those gems, and those gems would be a cryptocurrency, right? And you would take them and you'd purchase your card packs, and now you would be able to trade with one of your friends who maybe has a card you want, and you can swap and trade around, or you can buy, sell, trade those cards for the gems. And if gamers were to have this in the traditional markets, they would absolutely be through the roof, as long as you didn't call it an NFT. And then the second you did, they just lose their minds. So, really what this is offering, what we have the opportunity to do here in the crypto space, is begin revolutionizing how gamers across the board play and how they have control and ownership of their assets. But it has to start small. It'll start bit by bit. And, multiple projects are going to do this. Multiple teams are going to do this. And, in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, NFTs will be ubiquitous with gaming. Right now, they're niche. They're on the edge. And, even the very concept of, owning, the digital items that you use is pretty foreign to people. But it's something that we're very focused on. And we think are going to bring a lot of value to, players, holders, and everything across the board, as well as, seeking to be a vector to bring new users into the ecosystem. If you show them that, NFTs are it's just like what you were doing before. It just benefits you more. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. That's the goal.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a solid framework for that. And like you said, for a lot of the digital, the online players, the attraction of the game itself is something that you want to be appreciated for just enjoyment of the game, rather than people who just see NFT, then they just jump all over it, and then they hoard NFTs, but they don't really play the game for it. And then it it kind of creates an artificial scarcity in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And that is rarity is not something foreign that exists in other games. There's a lot we can do with it, and that's really the goal here, is to jump in and provide a new experience for our Web 2 gamers and for our Web 3 gamers who are accustomed to all of this and familiar with all of this. It's just business as usual, except for now we have a game that's supposed to be fun, interactive, strategic. There's a lot of layers to it. And it still incorporates that play to earn aspect. We're not eschewing that. We're not getting rid of the play to earn aspect just because we want it to be fun. We're saying, hey, why not both?
Exactly. Play first, earn second, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. We want you to come here and enjoy the game, and more on, we want you to be. We want you to want to tell your friends about this without having to give them all the disclaimers like, hey, so there's this game, and I mean, it's okay. Well, you make a lot of these tokens, and I mean, the game's all right, but mostly it's the tokens. Instead, we want you to go, hey, man, I've been playing this game. It's super awesome. It's just like, it's so much like Magic the Gathering. It's so much like that. It reminds me of that. But it's completely different. It's got all these different abilities. You can do all these things, and dude, you get tokens out of it, and you can do so much with this token. And if you want to trade your cards or sell your cards, you can do that. That's the kind of conversation we want people to have. We want them to be like, we don't want them to have to go there kind of like sheepish, like, hey, to their traditional gamer friends, like, hey man, I have this game. It'd be kind of cool if you played with me, but not really that fun. Instead, we want them to go there excited, be like, man, you've got to try this. Check out this link. We have a referral link where, once you can send people and refer them. And once they start, purchasing cards or something like that, the referrer gets a kickback from that. So we want them to use that referral link. And then they check it out. They're like, man, I just need to sign up for an account here. Look at all these cards. It's got a free deck so anybody can just start playing. And we're off to the races at that point.
No, exactly. And yeah, even offering the free deck, like you said, best way to jump in, just go on there, throw your email in, throw your password in, grab that free deck, and just start going at it. Don't even have to worry about all the different technical aspects of crypto that's going to have to try and explain to people. And like you said, with the lack of focus on with other projects having such a lack of focus on the actual gameplay and just on the earning concept, it's hard. It's easier to pitch your friends like, hey, here's like you said, there's this fun game and here's some things you can do with it, and you happen to get tokens out of it, versus, hey, there's this thing, it's kind of a grind to play. It's not exactly an enjoyment, but I mean, hey, but if you like earning things, then that's something that's come out of it. So you're putting the focus on the enjoyment of the gameplay rather than specifically on the enjoyment of the gameplay comes first, with the earning being supplemental, versus the earning being the primary feature, with the gameplay itself being kind of an afterthought.
Yeah, and we want to put the importance on both features, because we understand that, our ecosystem is deep and we're going to have a widespread audience. We want the goal is ecosystem wide, stepping even beyond the game. Ecosystem wide, we want there to be something for every single person who, enters our project. So, at its very basic level, we're an NFT project and there's always going to be NFT collectors. So we have that. There's going to be people who are interested in the tokenomics and the token staking. We've got that. By holding the Goons, you yield the GOB token. By holding, the secondary collection that you mint from the Goons, free plus gas, you are able to not only earn more GOB, but you're able to get a bonus rate when you combine both together in one of your wallets. So we've got that for our token people. For our trading card game people, I mean, that's what we are at our base. We've got a fun game, a strategic game, a game that people are going to enjoy playing. For our card collectors, we have the collect to earn side of things, where people are going to unlock achievements for collecting certain cards and leveling up as they continue to collect more cards and gather more cards. So for that aspect, we have that as well. Moving into more of our movers and shakers, we have land, which is coming. Actually, it's moved into claim for our holders right now. They're using our utility token even when it's still off chain. They're using it off chain to begin claiming land now. And land is going to provide ecosystem economic share for people. So those who are interested in something like that, there's absolutely that aspect as well. Going even further, land will have a secondary game being developed by an independent studio, so it doesn't bog down our first game. We're not trying to focus on too many things at once, and the land will be kind of an auto battler, like an auto chess game, because we don't delude ourselves with the fact that everybody is a trading card game player. We're looking to build an ecosystem that has something here for everybody. And, the final step is NFT leasing. If you hold your land or your Goon NFTs, you can, rent and lease them if you have a lot or you're just looking to do things more passively. So, the goal is to have something here for every single person who enters the ecosystem, and not to make any assumptions about the audience. If you cover all your bases, you never have to have people come to you and say, well, everything you're doing is nice, but it would be cool if you did this. If you're already trying to do this portion of things, you let everybody know that there's a seat for them at the table.
No, exactly. Now, speaking of the GOB token, let's touch a bit on the tokenomics of the GOB token itself. Give us a rundown on the function of the token contract, such as taxes, fees, side functions, anything that investors should know about buying, selling, or holding the token itself.
Well, so this is where we are putting ourselves solidly in the serious project category, and we're stepping away from any sort of meme token. We try to keep all of our humor, all of our memes, all of our lightheartedness in the kind of perception of the project, but we keep it away from the actual functioning of the project. So at its base, the project is very serious. The foundation is serious. It's far searching into the future. We're looking to create a project that's going to stick around and remain strong. So in that end, the token doesn't have any funky tax token taxes on buying or selling. We want this to be a token that transacts. We have a limited supply of it. It's not a what is it, a quadrillion supply token. It has 750 million tokens. The tokenomics have been thought out. There's vesting periods between all the phases seed, such as that. We tried for we tried to ensure that there were no whale wallets as we were going through the seed rounds. We didn't have a maximum limit on the seed wallet or the seed round wallets, but the team actually put a lot of effort into making sure that there was even distribution and that there were no just massive consolidation buys by any one wallet. So as far as it goes, it's a very important token. It's very important to the in-game ecosystem. So we're not doing any super gimmicky stuff with it as far as token taxes or anything like that. And I'll kind of turn it over to Luke here. I feel like I've been hogging the show here, but
yeah, that's fine. You're doing a great job explaining everything, I think, Matt. Yeah, actually, if I can, I want to just share my screen, and I can bring up a graphic about the tokenomics, and we can show everyone kind of the breakdown of how it looks, if that's okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, great. Yeah, basically, so here are the tokenomics. So as Matt was saying, we've done a seed round, we've done the private sale. We did that back at the beginning of this year, closed it in April. So we've already raised about 2.5 million. So we have a host of really top-notch investors from this space, from basically the Web3 space, who've already backed our project. So we were asking a little bit why people should put their money into their project, because a number of other really smart people and people with a lot of experience in this sector have already done so. As you heard from Matt, and he explained a lot about the vision of the project and what's been done so far. So now is a great time to get involved. We've already, as I said, been around for about 18 months. So it's definitely not we're in it for the long term. So now's the perfect time to put your money in and take advantage of the public sale that's coming up. So the public sale is coming up at the end of the month, and we're selling only 10 million of the tokens. The rest have been allocated for different functions within the ecosystem that we'll need to cover, obviously, the staking rewards, the gaming rewards, the NFT daily rewards that Matt mentioned about holding the goons, holding the goon bodies. So those reserves have already been set aside. We have obviously a certain amount of tokens that have been allocated to the team, which have quite a strict vesting schedule. It's actually over 2.5 years, so there's a 6-month cliff and then the 2-year vesting. For the seed round, I think it was a total of 18-month vesting period. For the private, I think 14. So on the public sale coming up at the end of the month, the terms are pretty straightforward. It's 40% unlocked on each. The rest vests over four months, and so it's and the price it's going to launch at 0.05, so 5 cents for the token. So we'll be launching an IDO on pools on the 30th of August, and then the public sale will begin on August 31st.
Excellent. Thank you much for that, Luke. So we're going to go ahead and actually jump right over to community questions, since we are kind of a bit close on time here. We're going to be starting with a voice chat. Now, actually, before I open the chat, I just want to mention, just a reminder, in the interest of time, please ensure limiting questions to one question per post or hand raise. If you're asking your question via voice chat, please ensure that you are not beginning your question with "I have a question" or "Hello, can you hear me?" in order to avoid being skipped. For those of you asking questions via text, please ensure that your questions are relevant to the project currently being interviewed in order to avoid being skipped as well. Now, first off, thank you very much, Luke, for that presentation of the tokenomics breakdown and of the features of Goons with Balatroon. We are going to start our voice chat questions with Benga. Benga, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello. Yeah. Thank
You're good,
you.
sir.
My question goes thus: I see it on your roadmap. You see, you have plans for referral. I'm just kind of curious that what will be your plans? What is the maximum of people I can refer at a time? And how do you try to do it in such a way that people will make use of people who abuse the system with referral?
Can
Sorry.
you repeat that question a bit, buddy? There was some background noise at a couple periods that kind of drowned you out.
Oh, hold on, who's got that going? Okay, there we go. Somebody else was unmuted and had voice and music going. Make it one more time, please.
Hello. Hope you got my question.
No, one more time, please. There was another person who had music playing.
Okay. My question is, you have it on your roadmap that you'll be having planning for referral. And I'm just kind of curious with respect to experience. People do abuse referral opportunity. What will be your plans to make sure that the referral opportunity is not being abused? And what will be the maximum of people I can refer? Do I need to hold a token before I refer? And what will be the activities I need to do before I can actually refer and end successfully?
Are you talking about our referral system? Just before we get started, is that what you're looking at?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we have been careful to make sure that the referral system can't be botted. There's always the potential for people to take advantage of a referral system. So we've looked into that. Now, if I remember correctly, and I haven't looked at the referral system for a while now, but you head to our main website. And, you sign up, you build an account, you link it with an email, and, you connect your wallet. And then, you can click a referral link and you can hand that out to your friends. You can hand that out to, anybody you're telling the game about, and they're able to join, and that will, count as one of your referrals. And, as they begin participating in the ecosystem, for example, let's say I go out and I, purchase some Goon cards, you having referred me will get a kickback of a little bit of GOB token. As a reward for that. It's a percentage of the purchase they make, and it gives you kind of a reward for helping spread the good word about the project. So that's kind of the concept behind it there. We have put some, fail safes in place to make sure that, it's not taken advantage of. And of course, if it looks like it's being exploited, we can handle it as well on the back end. So I hope that answers your question about referrals. It's absolutely something we are wanting people to do. Like I say, it's a game we want people to tell their friends about, and we've got a system in place for it.
Yeah, and just as Matt was saying, since we have those safeguards in place, there aren't any kind of initial limitations in terms of the number of referrals, et cetera, et cetera. So we only look at that on a case by case basis. It definitely looks like something is being done that shouldn't be done. So if you're out there referring people, the more the merrier, as far as we're concerned.
Does that answer your question, Benga?
Okay, yes, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you. Give me just 1 second here.
Yeah, thanks for your question, buddy.
Okay, so moving back over to text chat. Lost my place here. We're going to start with Merly Alexa, who asks, is there any guides available for participating in your GOB token staking program, and where will the user stake their tokens? Is there a staking program for this?
So, yes. Well, there's different levels to what you consider staking. So at its most basic, the NFTs themselves provide a GOB token yield, right? Just by holding them unlisted, you yield the GOB token. Now, with land coming out, there's going to be the ability to stake GOB, on land. Because we have our land sale coming at almost the exact same time as our TGE. So just a whole lot of, ecosystem expansion is happening. Now, the website is great. The website's great. It has a lot of information on, kind of all aspects of it, whether it's the token yielding, and, all of that. So the website's a wealth of information. Right now, the staking is not active. The GOB token yield from NFTs is. And, traditionally that was called staking initially. We call it soft staking. So you can find information about that as far as, kind of facts and figures on it.
Soft staking, like medium rare staking.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's the best kind, right? If you're not
Exactly.
staking medium rare, are you really staking at that point? But
Exactly.
So, we have the God token yield, and we have information on that. With Land coming out, Land has a very deep website. It has a very deep portion of our website that you can read up more on. So we try to make our project information heavy. We know a lot of people have a ton of questions, and the easiest thing we found is just to be transparent as much as possible. This project doesn't really have anything to hide. That's why we love these AMAs so much. There's not really a question we're afraid of. So we just try to front load as much information, out to our users as possible. And sometimes that's a little daunting because there's a whole lot of depth to the ecosystem. But we have a ton of information out there, both on our websites and our Telegram and our Discord. We're always happy to help. So what I would say in regards to the token yield, if you're calling it staking in that regard, we have a ton of information out about that. If you're looking in the future of land staking for the GOB token, then that is, we're going to be providing more information as that becomes live. But there's also a lot of information that can be gained from, the land website currently. So a lot of information out there, trying to make it easy for people to learn.
Excellent. Thank you much for that response, and thank you much, Marilia, for your question. Next question, going back to the voice chat, we're going to ask Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, please go ahead with your Top Gun question.
Hello, my question is this. I went through your website and I saw that everything was being stated accordingly. But the crypto industry is a fast-paced industry. How flexible is your project to change quickly and keep pace with technology trends? And what is your long-term vision for forecasting industry in which your project operates in?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you so much for that question. So the project's able to move very quickly. In fact, the token launch was going to actually happen earlier, and we just saw the market was absolutely bleeding so badly. Here a month ago, ETH was, dropping down below 1,000. Bitcoin was solidly below 20,000. And, there's a lot of fear in the markets. We just said, right now is not the time to launch the token. The token's not going to perform well. For those who want to hold it, then it's not going to perform. It's just not a great time to do it. So we did kind of a U-turn real quick. We moved our TGE a bit to a much more, permissible market condition. I mean, right now, we're not out of the bear market, but, we have people, pumping up on the hopium again. We had Kraken CEO was saying that he hopes by the end of the year he's able to buy a Bugatti for one Bitcoin, which I think is a little excessive. I don't think we're going to get that anywhere close. But
you can probably buy a model of one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it depends how used it is.
But we're able to quickly move and change the conditions. And the NFT space moves even faster than the crypto space. The things that people like in NFTs change almost weekly. And so we're pretty accustomed to moving and adapting to, upcoming trends, while also trying to stay true to our brand. We're not looking to jump on every sort of trend and momentary shiny thing that, the crypto and NFT industry has. Now, as far as our long-term plans, we're absolutely looking to build, just an absolute monster of a gaming ecosystem. We've got our flagship projects with this trading card game, play to earn game. That's our main one, being produced in-house by our own studio and already in beta for our NFT holders, and they're absolutely loving it. We're getting great feedback back from it. We have our second auto chess style game that's going to come with the land. This being produced by an outside studio, so it doesn't bog down our own development, doesn't slow us down. So we're going to continue to expand the ecosystem, and just try to close that gap between Web 2 and Web 3. We're looking to provide fun play to earn games to the crypto side of things, and to onboard Web 2 and that massive gaming market kind of into more the Web 2.5 or Web 3 sort of environment. So that's kind of the long-term plans, is just to, build an empire of fun to play to earn games.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for your answers. Thank you so much, not Donald Trump. Thank you so much, Bigu.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you much, Tom Cruise, for your question. Quickly, last question before we close out here comes from Johnny English in text chat, who points out about the privacy policy and about data usage in the game. It is mentioned in the privacy policy that specific data will be requested from the user in order to be able to participate in the game. I'm curious to know why data is requested related to the device being used, the network to which connection was made, the interactions on the site, or a type of browser. What does this affect the mechanics of the game?
Well, we have different versions of the game. Right now, we're on PC. We're on PC right now. We're absolutely looking to expand into mobile. There's been very few crypto-based games that have successfully made that transition into mobile just because it's difficult. If you're just a raw crypto-focused game, it's very difficult to integrate into traditional, especially on the App Store. Apple does not like, crypto games. They don't like crypto in general. And so we're absolutely going to expand to that. We've got the right, we've got the strategy for it. We know how to, jump through the hoops. We know how to, follow their rules and requirements. And so we're going to be expanding to the app versions. And so, understanding what device people are playing on is important from just a very basic level, and understanding, the browsers. It's a web-based game. Chrome is very different from Brave, which is very different from Firefox. In a similar manner as wallets are very important. Coinbase wallet functions very different from MetaMask, and there's just a huge plethora of data. And the data harvesting, it's not even really that. It's more just the amount of information that we have to take in just to provide the product to function correctly. As we lay out in the privacy policy, this we have the ethos of traditional crypto projects. So we're not looking to suck down information from our users. It's more of what do we need to know to be able to properly, provide the project and the service. And, we lay that out in there. We lay out, your ability to, decline, that collection. And then, of course, certain things, by contacting our email. But then, certain aspects of the game may not function properly for you, and ways to have your information removed. We have that stuff in place for it. In fact, I'm impressed that somebody dug into the privacy policy. I remember working on that myself, and oh my goodness, the minutiae. It's all just like, it's all, legalese. It's all, legal talk. And, it's not really meant to obscure anything. It's just, what does it take to allow us to function properly and provide a game? Because games are very complex at their coding level. I'm no dev, certainly, but...
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest lie ever told on the internet is, I have read and understand the terms and conditions.
No kidding. And this person can actually say that they did. They read, they understood, and they asked questions about it.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with that at all. This person's going to go places for sure, especially to the moon. So now, that is all the time we have for questions from the Phoenix Hold'em community. If you did not get the opportunity to have your question asked in tonight's AMA, you're welcome to pop over to the official Goons of Balatroon Telegram channel at t.me/GoonsNFT. Answer any further questions you have there, whether the mods and dev team will be happy to answer them at that time. So, quick 30 seconds before we go. Dev team, would you like to have any final statements for the Phoenix Hold'em community?
Man, well, I just want to say it was great hanging out with you. Thanks for taking the time to, spend some time with us, talk with us, and your community is absolutely amazing. Thanks for the great questions, guys. We hope to see some of you come over, hang out with us in our Discord, our community, but, just spending time with you here today has been great. So, again, thank you guys for the great questions, and, thank you for hosting this for us. It was great, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to echo
go ahead,
the
Luke.
same, right? No, thanks a lot for having us on. And thank you for the questions. For those of you who have questions but didn't get a chance to have them answered today, please join us on Telegram or on Discord. We have, 2 robust communities there, and lots of people will be happy to answer all the questions that you have about the project. So as Beagle said before, we're happy to answer anything. We have nothing to hide, so please come and ask whatever, is interesting to you, and we'll do our best to get the answers to you straight away.
Excellent. Thank you both again to the team from Goons of Balatroon for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holding Studio. It was a pleasure having you, and we wish you all the best for your project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Give it once again for the team from Goons of Balatroon. So, now you heard from the team, it's time for you to decide. Are you bullish on the project? Or are you bearish? Will you ape in? Or will you jeet out? And with that, that brings us to the end of another episode of Late Night Live with Donald Trump. Thank you again to the Phoenix Hold'em community for the opportunity to have us in your studio tonight, and thank you all for tuning in with us. Have a good night, and we'll see you all next time. reminder to help control the G population. Spay and neuter your friends and